Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to convene this meeting of the Government Administration and Elections Committee. And I have no remarks this morning except welcome, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. And do my ranking members have any remarks? Okay, so moving on to item number 3 is concepts to be raised. I will go through each of these items and give a brief synopsis of the intent to the best of my memory of these items, and then the committee can consider them as concepts to be raised. So item number 1, an act concerning risk limiting audits. This committee has for many years in a bipartisan fashion looked at this issue based on a study that was done a number of years ago. It has passed the committee many times. Unfortunately, the cost has always been the reason it's never passed the full legislature. So that's what that bill is, or that concept will be as a bill. Item number 2, an act concerning venue for election cases. We've had previous proposals in this committee from the Secretary of the State's office with regard to having a central location where all election cases are held. I think the argument from the Secretary's office has to do with having judges in that particular location that are well-versed in election law. It's an issue that our committee has looked at in the past. Item number 3, an act concerning election administration oversight. Similarly to the other 2 bills we've already discussed, the proposal there is to look at if there is a way for the state to have some oversight when a municipality is clearly demonstrating that they are having trouble running their elections in a way that can give the voters in that community confidence of the outcome. Yes, Senator Sampson.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Is the thought that this bill would look like previous years where we're creating kind of a state level entity made of some of our state officials?
Yeah, the so-called MARB-like
that's what I was
proposal
looking
is,
for, I was just trying to
yes,
remember
and
it.
certainly, open to different ways to construct that oversight board in the future, but that is the intent
Okay,
of
thank
this concept. Item number 4 is a newer concept for us to be looking at this year, an act concerning electronic monitoring of public employees. I think in this day and age, every moment, people are discovering new ways that they are being monitored both by camera and by use of electronic devices. And so this concept will be looking at to what degree do public employees need to be informed if those kinds of monitoring are taking place in the workplace. Item number 5, an act concerning an option for on-cycle municipal elections. This is also a new proposal. Many of us have worked with the National Conference of State Legislatures, and working with that organization, this is a topic that's coming up in a variety of states, changing the election cycle so that municipal elections could happen in the even years, in the state election years, if you will. This proposal would be looking at giving communities an option to potentially switch to having their municipal elections in an even year instead of in our traditional way or our current way, which is doing it in an odd year. Just a new concept for us to look at. It's being looked at in a lot of different states, and it doesn't seem to have any particular partisan affiliation in the other states where they're considering that. Item number 6, an act concerning ranked choice voting. That this is also a proposal that this committee has looked at in a variety of forms in recent years. I think our intention this year is to mirror the legislation the committee looked at last year, which is to allow municipalities to have the option to have their municipal elections for their chief elected officials be done using a ranked choice system. Item number 7, an act concerning certain notices. This would be looking at notice requirements for various political political bodies with regard to the publication of notices for their meetings and other actions that they may be taking. Item number 8, an act concerning CVRS and poll books. This proposal is brought to us by our esteemed vice chair of this committee, Rep. Morin Bello, and looking to update or give election workers a little more confidence on when both CVRS and the poll books are updated in advance of elections in their communities. Item number 9, an act concerning state advertising funds and local media. This is also similar to a proposal this committee has looked at in the past, trying to ensure that state dollars that are put towards advertising, that those dollars be considered to be spent by locally owned media. Item number 10, an act concerning political spending and corporate powers in the state. This is a new proposal that we will be looking at this year, with looking at how corporate money is being spent on state elections here in Connecticut. Item number, yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I just wanted to ask, because I put a bill in very regularly in this committee that we have not raised in the past, that is about really tracking taxpayer money being used as political advocacy by recipients. Certainly, the state spends a lot of money on nonprofit organizations. Most of them, run very, very well, and obviously doing the business that the state requires of them. Some of them venture a little more deeply into political advocacy. Is that something that is going to be contemplated in this language?
I appreciate the question, Senator. I'm not sure, but it's certainly something we could talk about. I'd like to hear a little bit more about what you're suggesting. I don't remember in the past us having a conversation about nonprofits in particular, but maybe I'm not remembering exactly what you had proposed previously.
Yeah, my concern would be any entity, including state agencies, that use their advertising budget for political purposes. I think I've had a bill in the past regarding the Secretary of State advertising very close to election day, for example. So those are just some similar topics. Maybe you could just give me a little bit better idea what you're driving at with this one. Corporate powers. I mean, this is I don't know what that means. Is that any business entity or?
I guess there is some. This proposal comes to us from Senator Anwar, and he raised with the committee some concern about are there clear restrictions and oversight for corporate political spending, and so I think what you're talking about may be something we can consider in addition to what Senator Anwar has put forward and asked us to raise in this concept.
I appreciate that very much. I suspect that Senator Anwar and I are not looking at this through the same exact lens. It sounds very much like a Citizens United type of conversation from his point of view. I mean, from my perspective, money in political campaigns and political advocacy is speech, and I don't like limiting speech, particularly political speech, and therefore I'm very reluctant to start putting limits on the ability of private entities with their own dollars to be able to engage in political activism. But I am concerned about how taxpayer dollars are used. So I would be hopeful that if we draft a bill like this, that we contemplate all arenas where political speech is impacted by money. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Item number 11, an act concerning absentee ballot access in sub-municipal elections. So this is another new concept that we're looking at this year. It has to do with smaller municipal elections and whether or not absentee ballots are available in a timely fashion for smaller municipal elections. So, for example, some communities, they have boroughs, and is the absentee ballot access equitable if you're having a borough election, a fire district election, perhaps a municipal referendum on a town's budget. So that's what we're going to be looking at in this proposal, if there's a way to expand participation in those types of elections by expanding absentee ballot access to those elections. Item number 12, an act concerning the Department of Administrative Services. The agency, DAS, has requested some proposals for this committee to look at, and the proposals that they've requested will go into the concept that is in item number 12. Item number 13, an act concerning the unclaimed property fund. This committee has worked closely with the Treasurer's Office in recent years with regard to the unclaimed property fund, and the Treasurer's Office this year has asked for some additional updates to the statutes regarding that fund, and that's what this proposal will be addressing. And item number 14, an act concerning technical revisions to the government administration and election statutes. This is our very popular annual bill that comes to us from the Legislative Commissioner's Office, and the technical revisions that they see as necessary to the statutes that this committee has cognizance over. Item number 15, an act concerning data governance. This proposal comes to us from the Office of Policy and Management, specifically their data officer, asking for some updates to our statutes with regard to their functions and the state's maintenance of data. Item number 16 is a resolution recognizing Native American stewardship. This is a proposal that comes to us from Representative Wilson, looking to recognize the impact that Native Americans have had on Connecticut. Item number 17, an act concerning state contracting and youth sports. This is a proposal that will be looking at whether or not youth sports are being impacted by contracts that exist for the access to or the recording of youth sports. There has been a concern raised that there are places in the state where parents are being limited, that youth sport organizations, that municipalities are entering into contracts with entities that are videoing and broadcasting the youth sports, and then prohibiting other spectators like parents from being able to videotape their children playing sports. And so we want to look into those contracts and see if there's a way to ensure that when any entity, whether it's a school district or a local youth sports league, is entering into those contracts, that there isn't a prohibition on parents being able to tape and celebrate their kids' activity in those organizations. Item number 18, an act concerning code change notifications. Just give me one moment. We're going to recess for just a minute. I'm going to skip over item number 18 for just a minute in the interest of time, but I promise I will come right back to it. Item number 19, an act concerning language access expansion, comes to us from the House Majority Leader, Representative Rojas, and this is a proposal that this committee has looked at before with regard to making sure that the state documents and other state resources are available in as many languages as possible, therefore as accessible to as many residents of Connecticut as possible. Item number 20 is an act concerning the Community Investment Fund Board, also comes to us from Representative Rojas, and is looking at making some structural changes to the way the Community Investment Board functions. Item number 18, to go back, is asking the Department of Administrative Services to coordinate with other state agencies when regulations or codes are updated and submitted to the Regulations Review Committee. So a way to make sure there's strong coordination across agencies with regard to changes in code. And I'm sorry for the delay on that clearly very exciting bill that this concept will become. Item number 21 is an act concerning statewide recognition for minor parties. That is a proposal that has been brought to us by advocates of minor parties. It's a proposal this committee has looked at in the past about expanding access to the ballot and ballot lines for minor parties. Yes, Representative Mastro Francesco.
Yeah, I'm curious, what exactly is their intent to their ballot access? Because they do have access to the ballot right now. Is there something different than what the current procedure is for them?
Yeah, there is. And this is a bill that we looked at last year as well in this committee. What they are looking for is for us to change the threshold so that if they get a certain percentage of the vote in some elections, that they be able to have statewide access to the ballot, have a ballot line based on that support that they've garnered at a different election.
Thank you. And I'm just curious, in that language, would they be required to, or something to consider, that they follow the same guidelines and bylaws that the major parties do?
You know, we have another bill about that we can get to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 22, an act concerning state contracting for state employee health insurance coverage and other related services. This is a proposal that this committee looked at last year as well, trying to ensure that as state employee health insurance is offered, that any contracts that are entered into for such coverage have certain protections in place. Item number 23, a resolution commemorating the anniversary of the Connecticut-Taiwan sister state relationship. This is a proposal or a resolution that this committee has passed almost every year, I believe. And it was a relationship that was really led by our dear colleague, Representative Kevin Ryan, God rest his soul. But this committee will continue his work on this issue and ensure that this resolution moves forward as a concept here today, and I'm sure it will enjoy bipartisan support in the future of this legislative session. Item number 24 is a resolution for a constitutional amendment to allow 16-year-olds to apply for admission to be electors and admitted upon the age of 18 as an elector. This is also a proposal that this committee has looked at many times before, the idea being that we would change our state's constitution to allow 16-year-olds to be on the voting rolls, very similar to a change that was made, I believe, 17 or 18 years ago with regard to 17-year-olds. Item number 25 is a resolution for a constitutional amendment concerning environmental rights. This is a proposal that this committee has looked at the last several years, would codify into our state's constitution certain environmental rights and that they be protected in our state's constitution. Item number 26 is a resolution for a constitutional amendment making references in our state's constitution gender neutral. This also is a proposal that this committee has looked at several times in the past, and we are hoping to change our state's constitution so that there are no longer gendered references. The current state constitution uses terms like he throughout the document, and this proposal would allow the voters of Connecticut to contemplate making those references instead gender neutral. Item number 27, an act concerning the regulations adoption process. This proposal is coming to us, I believe, from members of the Regulations Review Committee, looking at the current process of how regulations for state agencies are adopted, proposed, and put forward to the Regulations Review Committee. Item number 28, an act concerning recommendations of the Office of State Ethics. It is exactly that. The Office of State Ethics has asked us to look at a few different topics this year, and so we will be putting forward this bill to consider the changes that they are asking for. Item number 29, an act concerning a technical change to the election, or technical changes to the election statutes. I believe this is the companion bill to the bill we discussed earlier that will be technical changes to our election statutes. Item number 30, an act concerning campaign contribution limits. This bill, this concept will become a bill that will look at the limits, the existing limits in our campaign finance law for campaign contributions. Item number, Senator Sampson.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Are we looking at the difference in limits between candidates that are participating in CEP versus those that are not? Is that what this is?
That would be one of the things, yes, Senator.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 31, an act concerning state contracting. This is a proposal that comes to us from the State Contracting Standards Board, some updates that they're looking for to the statutes that govern their operations. Item number 32, an act concerning freedom of information. This concept will be a variety of proposals with regard to freedom of information, some increased oversight and additional work to strengthen both people's ability to get that information, but also perhaps some proposals to streamline the process before the commission. Item number 33, an act concerning minor changes to an absentee voting statute. This is a proposal from the Secretary of State's office for a small change to the absentee voting statutes. Item number 34, yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Representative Master Francesco.
Thank you. So it's a minor revision to the absentee ballot voting statutes. What type of a revision are they looking for? I know the language has been drawn up. Is there any indication of where it's going?
I think it is going to live up to its name and be minor, and it's different than the larger proposal we'll be considering with regard to universal absentee ballots, and so I think that's why they wanted a separate proposal for this, this smaller issue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, item number 35, an act concerning centralized website for state grant programs. This is a proposal that this committee has looked at several times in the past. It allows, it is asking for the state to create a centralized website where anyone can access information about the variety of state grant programs. I think many of us in dealing with various organizations in our district know that it can sometimes be a complicated process, and this committee has tried in the past to incentivize the state to create this website where all agencies can share information about grant programs so that they can be accessible to as many people as possible. Item number, Senator Sampson.
I just wanted to give you a heads up that you skipped item number 34.
I apologize. Thank you. Item number 34, an act concerning government organization, is a proposal to look at the ways that various state agencies interact with each other and whether they should reside in, under the cognizance of different state agencies than they are under right now. Item number 36, an act concerning exploratory committees. This proposal comes to us looking for some greater oversight on how exploratory committees function and whether or not the existing statute puts enough parameters in place on how exploratory committees transfer into candidate committees. Item number 37, an act concerning state agencies and FOI compliance. This proposal will look at the training requirements for state agencies and whether all state agencies are appropriately educated on FOI law and how those agencies need to comply with our Freedom of Information laws. Item number 38, an act concerning lobbyist contributions during legislative session. This is a proposal we've looked at in some version in the past with regard to banning lobbyist contributions to candidates during the legislative session. Current law bans lobbyist contributions to legislators when they are running for legislative office, but not when they are running for municipal offices, and it doesn't ban it for candidates that are running for other offices. And so this would be a proposal to close that, as I said, as this committee's looked at several times in the past. Item number 39, an act concerning minor political party bylaws. This will be looking at whether minor political parties are adhering to the existing bylaws that are on file and what the consequences are if those bylaws are not followed. Item number 40, an act concerning a special office of Inspector General. This is a proposal to create an office of Inspector General here in the state of Connecticut. I would imagine it will be designed using a model of other Inspector General offices at other levels of government in our state, making sure that there is a centralized place where any concerns about the operations of government can be reviewed and have direct oversight through this Office of Inspector General. Item number 41, an act concerning objections to bill titles. This is a proposal that is very focused on the legislature, and it will be the ability of, as for folks who don't know, the titles of bills. So today we have these concepts before us, and we write the bills, and then the bills become full proposals. And right now, our legislative commissioner's office is charged with making the titles for the bills. Sometimes those titles, I know our staff, our great attorneys and the other staff in the legislative commissioner's office, they do a very good job of trying to just plainly state what the bill proposal is. But sometimes those titles come out in a way that legislators don't particularly like. And so this proposal would be to potentially create a system where once a bill is titled, there could be an objection and potentially a change to that title. Item number 42, an act concerning the viewing of recounts. This is a proposal to clarify and potentially expand how a person can actively view a recount or a recanvass in our state. This is a subject that we've looked at in a bipartisan fashion in recent years, and I think this proposal would be similar to those efforts in the past. Item number 43, an act concerning personal care attendants and fiscal intermediaries. I think many of my colleagues around this table know that there has been for years a very serious issue with people who serve in the critical role of personal care attendant. And for some reason, our state consistently has a vendor that pays the people who do this vital work, and oftentimes that pay is delayed. I know that there are several of us around this table who have met with PCAs in recent weeks and months who haven't been paid since October for the work that they do. And so this bill is an attempt to figure out how an entity that continues to not pay these people who do some of the most vital work in our state, but also are some of the least compensated workers in our state, how we could continue to enter into a contract with a vendor that doesn't ensure these people are paid fairly and in a timely fashion. This is what this proposal seeks to look at. Item number 44, a resolution concerning the town of Brooklyn. This is a resolution that may be necessary because the town of Brooklyn, which has been before this committee before, several years ago, more than a decade ago, the town of Brooklyn was before this committee because it has several provisions that are governed by special acts, which is a position that many towns in our state finds itself in. Brooklyn right now is considering some reorganization to the way it delivers its fire service. And so they may need a resolution to allow the reorganization that the town is entering into to move forward. And so that's why this concept is before us here today. Item number 45, an act concerning state contracts with nonprofit providers. This is also a proposal that this committee has looked at several times in recent years, and I would note in a bipartisan fashion. Frustration with how the state is sometimes very slow to provide full payment of state contracts with nonprofit providers and how that has a real impact on those nonprofits when they've done the work and it's months, even more than a year later, and they still not have received the full compensation. And so this bill will be very similar to the proposal that this committee's looked at in the past. Item number 46, an act concerning apprentice utilization on large state-funded projects. This proposal is new to us this year. It comes to us from the carpenters who are asking for a change. They're working in partnership with the Department of Administrative Services to ensure that when the state is funding large projects, that apprentices are fully brought into that process. Item number 47, an act concerning poll worker pay. This is a new proposal for us this year to look at how poll workers are compensated, whether it's people who are serving as registrars of voters, people who are serving as moderators, people who are election workers in other capacities, looking at the pay scale, which varies greatly from town to town in our state, and whether or not that pay is appropriate. Item number 48, an act concerning government administration. We'll look at the statutes governing the Department of Administrative Services. Item number 49, an act concerning public official and employee security, is a newer conversation for us to be having in this committee this year. I believe many of us around this circle have heard increased concerns from people who are public employees that by virtue of being a public employee, they sometimes find themselves in conflict with people, and there is an increased concern about their physical safety and security. And so this proposal will be looking if there are ways to strengthen protections. Okay. And the last one, an act concerning increasing voter participation. That proposal will look at ways to increase the number of voters who choose to participate in our elections. And Attorney Tellerico, did I say something incorrect?
No, I just wanted to clarify that for number 44, that should, I think, be an act instead of a resolution. There are different vehicles. One gets presented to the governor, another one doesn't. I get the sense that if you're trying to effectuate a change in Brooklyn, it would need to be a statutory change.
Okay. All right.
Resolution has no teeth.
Okay.
You want to stand at ease? We can talk.
I would like to, yes, the committee will stand at ease for just a moment. Thank you. Okay, we will come back to order, and I am so grateful to the great knowledge of the Legislative Commissioner's Office. They were very helpful in the conversation on item number 44. We will move forward with it as a resolution concerning the town of Brooklyn. So with that, I will call, well, you know what, first I have to have a motion, and then so I would ask for a motion to raise the following concepts. Items 1 through 5, 7 through 24, 28 to 50. Motion has been made by Senator Honig
Second.
and seconded by Representative Blumenthal. Is there discussion? Senator Sampson.
And thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I also want to thank you for taking the time to go through the 50 items. There was not, a tremendous amount of detail, but enough for us to at least have an idea about where we're headed. A lot of these are repeated items that we've seen in previous years, so it gives us a little bit of a handle on it. I've got a couple of different reactions about this agenda. I think 50 items is excessive from my point of view, given the number of bills that we pass out of committee each year, but seemingly only end up passing a handful out of the House and Senate as a result. It means we're going to do a lot of work and a lot of effort that I don't know is necessary. I'd much rather see this committee concentrate on the few things that really do matter, that are more urgent to the people of Connecticut. And if I had my way, I would choose things that we all agree on. Obviously, that can't be the case in every situation. But I also want to make the typical caveat that these are concepts. These are titles, effectively, with no bill language. The process has always been curious to me because I don't think it's really even an effective mechanism. Asking people to pass, cast an up or down vote on a title that could become any kind of bill about anything and can change throughout the process numerous times. But that is the process that we live by, and it's understood that when we vote on concepts that we're just voting on the idea that we're going to have a conversation about these items. And what I want to make very clear to anyone watching is that a vote up or down on any of these concepts is not a real indication of how someone might vote in the future once a bill is drafted, once there's a public hearing, once there's a debate on the topic. There are a number of these items that were just moved that I think are absolutely impossible to employ, and other ones that I just disagree with completely. But for the sake of working together, I will support them on a voice vote today to move those items to a public hearing. There are a few other items, however, that we are fully aware what they are. They're repeated items that we've had in the past, and they're items that are more contentious, and that I believe that the folks to my right are going to be in disagreement with merely as a concept. And that's why the good chairman omitted those item numbers from the agenda, and I suspect she will move them separately so that we can have a roll call vote. I do want to also just say thank you to the chairs for putting a number of Republican bill items on the agenda. It is appreciated, and it is noticed, and it is the reason why this meeting's going to be as short as it is. This is very short under the consideration of, at any rate, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Blumenthal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I will just echo the comments of the Senate ranking member of the committee. I can say for our side of the aisle as well that just because we're raising a concept now doesn't mean we're necessarily supporting it either. In the spirit of bipartisanship, we raised a number of bills called for by both sides of the aisle. And so no one's vote during this meeting today should be held against them. It is in the spirit of the work of this committee of bipartisanship and ensuring that we explore a number of diverse issues and their solutions in this committee. So thank you to Senator Sampson, and thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Are there any further comments on the motion before us? Seeing none, all those in favor of raising concepts 1 through 5, 7 through 24, 28 through 50, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Next, the chair would entertain a motion to raise item number 6, an act concerning ranked choice voting.
Second.
Motion made by Senator Honig, seconded by Representative Menapace. Is there discussion? Representative Mastro Francesco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, so this bill has come before us, I would say, for the past few years with ranked choice voting. Something that we've discussed and debated, something certainly that I'm not in favor of. I really think this bill disenfranchises voters. We hear a lot of disenfranchising voters. I believe that this bill particularly does it. So I don't even have an interest in hearing it again or actually want to see it raised. So that's the reason for my no vote today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Senator Flexer,
Yes.
Representative Blumenthal,
Yes.
Senator Honig, Representative Morin-Bello,
Yes. Rep. Morin-Bello votes yes.
Rep. Osborne,
Yes.
Senator Sampson,
Sampson is no.
Representative Mastro Francesco,
No.
Representative Bronco, Representative Carpino,
No.
Representative Voncello,
No.
Representative Gauthier,
Gauthier, yes.
Representative Haddad, Representative Hoxa, Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Menapace,
Yes.
Representative Rosario, Representative Santiago,
Yes.
Representative Shannon,
Yes.
and then Senator Winfield. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And for members of the committee, I will, you know what, we're gonna hold the votes open today, but I'm gonna take some time to assess the weather. I was gonna originally say 4 o'clock, but if the weather is only worsening outside, I don't want to make our staff stay here any longer than necessary, especially since members can cast their votes remotely. So a time to be determined. Next, we will consider item number 25 as a concept to be raised, an act concerning a resolution for a constitutional amendment concerning environmental rights. The chair would entertain a motion to raise this concept.
Seconded.
Motion has been made by Senator Honig, seconded by Representative Blumenthal. Is there discussion? Senator Sampson.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. This seems like a very well-meaning proposal, and we've debated it the last several cycles. I'm anxious to see what the language will look like this time. I'm hoping that it is narrowed substantially so that it is a workable framework that is something that we can all get behind. But I have some significant concerns because while it seems to make sense to a casual observer or in just everyday conversation that people should have a right to clean air and clean water, which I agree, and I think everyone does. No one wants to see people not able to have clean air and clean water and to be exposed to pollution, etc. The bill creates a mechanism by which citizens of the state will be able to sue one another over that process. They will be able to sue government entities. I think this bill is ready-made for the trial lawyers of the state to get very, very wealthy without solving anything. The way we manage our environment today is the people of Connecticut elect individual lawmakers to come to the legislature on their behalf and to debate and vote for policies that we all agree on that protect the people of this state. What this would do is effectively eliminate that in favor of letting a judge be the decider over whether or not some entity, individual, government, or person is infringing on the environmental rights of another. And I don't like the idea of leaving it up to one single person. I believe we have representative government for a reason. This bill is not about the environment. This bill is about eliminating representative government in favor of judicial activism. And I just can't get behind it. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Are there further comments or questions? If not, Mr. Clerk, if you would call the roll on raising this concept as a resolution.
Senator Flexer,
Yes.
Representative Blumenthal,
Yes.
Senator Honig, Representative Morin-Bello,
Morin-Bello votes yes.
Representative Osborne,
Yes.
Senator Sampson,
Sampson is no.
Representative Master Francesco,
No.
Representative Bronco, Representative Carpino,
No.
Representative Fonsello,
No.
Representative Gauthier,
Gothier, yes.
Representative Haddad, Representative Hoxa, Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Menapace,
Yes.
Representative Rosario, Representative Santiago,
Yes.
Representative Shannon,
Yes.
Senator Winfield. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next, the committee will consider raising concept in item number 26, resolution for a constitutional amendment making references gender neutral.
Seconded.
Motion has been made by Senator Honig, seconded by Representative Blumenthal. Is there discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll on item number 26?
Senator Flexer,
Yes.
Representative Blumenthal,
Yes.
Senator Honig, Representative Morin-Bello,
Representative Morin-Bello votes yes.
Representative Osborne,
Yes.
Senator Sampson,
Sampson, no.
Representative Master Francesco,
No.
Representative Bronco, Representative Carpino,
No.
Representative Fonsello,
No.
Representative Gauthier,
Gothier, yes.
Representative Haddad, Representative Hoxa, Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Menapace, Representative Rosario, Representative Santiago,
Yes.
Representative Shannon,
Yes.
Senator Winfield. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next, we will consider item number 27 as a concept to be raised and act concerning regulations adoption process. Is there a motion?
Seconded.
Motion has been made by Senator Honig, seconded by Representative Blumenthal. Is there discussion? Representative Carpino.
Thank you, ma'am. I had some difficulty with the button. I have concerns with this proposal. If it is similar to what we heard last year, it was essentially the dismantling of the only bipartisan statutory committee in this building that has historically done very good work. Frankly, I think that there are more committees could learn from that, where there's an equal number of members from each party and review things in an objective and fact-based manner. I know we heard some language last year as well, so I do have strong concerns, especially in a short session. So I will be voting no on this and encourage my colleagues to think twice about making significant changes in a short session to a bipartisan committee.
Thank you, Representative. Are there further comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll on item number 27?
Senator Flexer,
Yes.
Representative Blumenthal,
Yes.
Senator Honig, Representative Morin-Bello,
Representative Morin-Bello votes yes.
Representative Osborne, Senator Sampson,
Sampson is no.
Representative Master Francesco,
Representative Master Francesco votes no.
Representative Bronco, Representative Carpino,
No.
Representative Fonsello,
No.
Representative Gauthier,
Gothier, yes.
Can you do that one more time, Representative? I didn't see you on camera.
Gothier, yes.
Got you there. Representative Haddad, Representative Hoxa, Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Menapace,
Yes.
Representative Rosario, Representative Santiago,
Yes.
Representative Shannon,
Yes.
Senator Winfield. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And with that, we have concluded our business for today. This committee does have a public hearing on Monday morning. And we will hold the votes open until at least 2:30 today. So I know that's a little less time than we sometimes give people, but I would ask members to try to get their votes in online before 2:30 today. Again, in the interest of if people need to make choices to go home early for safety concerns due to the weather. So thank you all very much, and the committee will stand in recess until 2:30 today. Have a nice weekend.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, let me just take your vote. Or let me get something to write with. Um, okay. I don't know where my pencils went. Oh, found them. Okay. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So items number 1 through 5 were voice vote. And so the first roll call vote we had was item number 6. How'd you like to vote?
Yes, affirmative.
Affirmative. And then items number 7 through 24 was on a voice vote. So for items number 25, how'd you like to vote?
Affirmative.
Items number 26, how'd you like to vote?
Affirmative in the affirmative.
And item number 27, how'd you like to vote?
In the affirmative.
And then items number 28 through 50 were a voice vote, so you're all good.
All right, thank you.
Yep, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
Hello?
how
Can
are
you hear
you?
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, my audio's off.
No
Hello?
worries. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Perfect.
Let me get everything. So items number 1 through 5 were on a voice vote.
Yep.
So item number 6, how would you like to vote?
Um,
I
item
can,
number 6.
I can
One
also read
second.
I can also read the bill title if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Can I get an agenda? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Judge. Just 1 second.
Oh, okay. No, I see it here. Okay. Item number 6 is ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
Okay. Voting no on that.
Mhm. And then items number 7 through, or sorry, it'd be items number 6. No, what am I saying? Sorry. It's items number 7 through 24. We're on a voice vote again. So the
Yeah.
next item on a roll call would be item number 25, resolution for a constitutional amendment concerning environmental rights. How do you like to vote?
Yeah, that's also a no.
No. And then the next item on the agenda, item number 26, is also a roll call vote.
Yep. That's also a no.
And then the next item number 27 is also a roll call vote. How do you like to vote?
No.
And then the rest were a voice vote. So you're all good. You're all set.
Perfect. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Nice meeting
Have a
you.
good one. Yeah, bye.
Too. Bye.